Before I begin the video, I will remind you to please click like if you like my content, and subscribe to our channel, tell a friend, and more importantly, go to our website and send us your email address to become a VIP, that we can send you announcements and VIP benefits that we'll think of as we go along. So thank you very much, and let's go on. Hi, I'm miltonchang of Bonsaiheirloom. I'm going to work on this half my pomegranate tree, half of my very favorite pomegranate trees on the other side that I have shown you in the past. So again, repeat a little bit of the history, but before I do that, I want to tell you what I'm trying to do today. Today, I will show you Phoenix Graft in its modified form. What Phoenix Graft is that you will take a dead bonsai or a dead driftwood, and you try to tape, like for example, a very long juniper. Some of the juniper can grow pretty long, and you nail to the old bonsai or the driftwood and then work on it to make it look like it's a very old bonsai, even though it's a very young juniper. Well, that is fine because when you look at the California juniper, actually most of deadwood, the 1,000-year-old deadwood, are deadwood. The rest of it is really something grew from the bottom or on the side to take over to become the magnificent tree they are. So Phoenix Graft is okay. There's a bit of a deceit, but if you are upfront with people in terms of what you did, then it's okay. So this tree, basically what happened is the following. When they were planning freeways in the Los Angeles basin, they bulldozed a lot of these old homes and to build a freeway. And many of the Japanese bonsai gardeners went and collected these trees, and they are so in love with these trees, they will never sell it. So this one was in a tub, a metal tub, actually like a basin, and the tree was about my height from the ground up, the top of the pot anyway. And it was a round trunk all around this big at the base. And the old man died, and the son couldn't stand the tree because one of the branch died off and it destroyed the original thinking of the father. So I was able to buy it, otherwise he would never sell, And I took it home. Between 8 to 10 years, I didn't know what to do with it. And I finally saw the curve that's there in the way that the trunk grew. The pomegranate, some of them even go contorted, like turning. And so I took a chainsaw and cut off a piece, and that is the piece. And then the rest of it is the magnificent bonsai that you will see that's down near over 100 years old that I really love. And that's the other part, whereas this one. Well, the problem with this one is that there were suckers coming up from the base, but the top pretty much died off because it was a dry section of the pomegranate. So here I am. I just let it grow. I put it in the pot, but I let it grow. So I took one of the suckers, I would say about 5+ years, with the trunk size no bigger than this. Okay, and I stuck it into the hollow of the trunk, that trunk. Actually, the dead trunk, there are some little bit of growth on top, but it's just mostly it's dead. And so this is what I got. So it's not 100% this little sucker, but most of it is. So let me tell you what I do then. And then over time, that little branch thickens and in fact grown into the rest of that wood. And there's one merit about pomegranate is that the the wood, you can see this is a very old wood, but still stuck to the tree. The deadwood are very resilient, I think in part because there's flavor, bitter taste in the wood, so the bugs don't get them. And, and so the wood is very durable. Whereas the next tree I will do is wisteria. It's very known to be softwood. Actually, the Wikipedia said it's very in different parts of the tree. It's hard to tell. Some are soft, some are hard. But wisteria, pomegranate is very hard. So with that in mind, then let me start working on the tree, and to shape it again, almost from the ground floor up, and see what I can do with it. I think this is more like almost a formal upright in a sense of it's a tapered going up. So I will probably keep the apex more centered rather than make a turn. So again, my technique is to let tree grow wild and then prune it so that the tree gains strength, like so that the trunk will thicken, and then try to find what I call find the squirrel in the tree, to sort of study all the branches by cutting off the ones I don't want to get the direction I want. So that's what I'm doing now. I'm shaping it by cutting off the redundant branch so as not to confuse me in terms of what it should look like. And so like this branch, you can see, I'd rather have the branch coming out this way. And so, and there's a branch in the back, that's okay. So what I'll do is I'll cut off that, and there's a butt you see right here. When someone asked me about cutting at the right place to encourage growth. So if that's a butt, then that's likely to come out this way. In fact, come out this way, and then I can cut it to make it go this way. So like this one, obviously it's the wrong place, so I cut it so not to obstruct my view. And I'm not going to save these branches because this is nothing more than a wonderful variety of pomegranate, because one year I got 3 big pomegranate out of the other tree. And the point I'm also making to you is that you can start a bonsai like that, probably look close to that 10, 15 years from now, if you just go and buy a pomegranate tree from the local nursery for fruits. And most of them are by cutting because it's so easy to root these, so that you can then start your pomegranate bonsai readily. What I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this branch, the apex, growing so that it can thicken the bottom, so it will look out of place, but you understand why I'm doing it. Basically, you don't see it now, but this is the branch, that's the sucker that came up, wind through the hole, and now it's totally fusing to the rest of the tree and come up to become this branch, and which is I'm working on now. And I'm catalyzing on the original bigger trunk to make it appear bigger and older, but it's actually a sucker. Just clean off a lot of the redundant growth that becomes cluttered and obstructs the view. And like this one, you see, like this just comes through the dead wood. This is in fact loose. And if I cut it, this will fill out this hole. And this, I would rather let it to go this way. So I guess I can leave a little bit of this. And you have to be a little careful with cutting pomegranate branches. Like this one here almost looks dead, but it's not, because the top is still green. So you can cut it, and they are very good at suckering out, instead of shooting out, budding out. So you can cut quite freely. And again, you don't have to be afraid of making mistakes, because they would come out to rebut based on what nature wants to to be right. When in doubt, you leave a little bit of an option instead of cutting off too much. So like this is obviously too long, so I just cut it to not obstruct my view. See, all of a sudden it looks very clear what the tree ought to look like. And again, this is from the sucker below, but I can justify to say this is the same tree because it is the same tree. And that's how they grew. And in fact, it could happen in nature that way. And some of the uncertain branches I will leave alone and see if it will bud out later. There's always time to make corrections. And so I'm just pruning off the redundant branches when I'm shaping the tree and leave what I might use to, like this is probably another sucker that came up from here and it got stuck in there. I just been working on this over time. Like this branch is going like this, and it wouldn't take much to do a little twist by wiring. I do wire or just anchor wire, like pull it down this way. Then you have a branch that's going this way. And then this one wants to go this way. So I cut it here. So it will start to branch out that way, and then I can wire a little bit. You see, he is breaking. But pomegranate is very resilient. You can be quite brutal in terms of wiring, and it will recover quite nicely. When in doubt, you save a little bit of option so that you can recover from from your mistakes, or gives you more design opportunity to take advantage of the new growth that might shoot out. So I'm almost done. I just go now work on the branch up front, which is an important one. And like this one, I definitely would like to pull it down more. And in this case, I broke a little bit. That's good because it will heal over. You can see I took the sucker from below, threaded through this hole, and it's stuck to the bottom tree. And that became the old looking thing. And that was the same as below that little sucker. So do it with a vision. It will eventually look good. Okay, now this is the final branch. This branch is coming out like that, very artistic. Again, it's part of this branch before. And so just to give myself a little bit of option, I may use this one, even though, oh yeah, and then what I meant to say is that I really do not need this branch to kind of distract us. So this is the kind of the semi-formal upright, and then this is the big branch coming out. So I really don't want this branch to be going up to be distracting. You can see it wasn't so obvious, but after I cut it, you can see this is such a nice turn. And that's how you create these turns. And like this is not very interesting straight, this is nice, but it's going the wrong direction. So what you can do is that in this case, I may decide to make it go this way by wiring it, or guy wire, or wire it somehow, or by twisting it now to get it started in this direction. And then if I clip it, it will start to look good. So you do what you can in the most efficient way to get it the way you want it. This branch is actually pretty much dead. We shall see. Let me cut it here to see if I can save this branch. Then I can use this branch to do this. Like this looks dead, but there's a little bit of a growth, so I know it's not dead. Okay, the very end. So this looks, not sure what it is, but once I cut this off, you can see how nice the curve is. And so all my trees have very pretty, well, a lot of my trees have nice curves, and never by wiring, simply by clipping. And you can see the technique. It gives the twisting a lot more forceful, a lot more angular, and that's what makes the tree look artistic in my mind. So you have to be brutal. If you're not, you won't get that. So this is the tree. Look at all this old trunk that was cut off from the other side with all those old deadwood roots that are very hard, so they will last. And in an oval pot like this, shallow, this would be a really fantastic tree. On the shallow pot, let me say the following. We see admirably a lot of the bonsai book, bonsai, you want to, like this branch, cut off. You don't need too many branches, but rather you want to show off the trunk. So this is open. So you look at the trunk, you say, wow, you look at that. But in fact, the living part is this. All of this was dead. Look at that. This is almost gone. But it's still attached to the thing because it's, and I'm going to just let it be to make it, to give it the aged look. Well, I think this is an incredibly wonderful tree in due time. I just cannot wait until there's one big pomegranate hanging there. I think that would be absolutely wonderful. So today on this tree, I've demonstrated by using a sucker from a deadwood, a section of a tree, and I stuck a weaver in between, and it all kind of stuck and grew into the old wood because pomegranate is a very hard wood. Look at how hard the wood is. And if this part break off, I will try to stick it back on with a glue or something because it's just such a character built into the old wood. Well, I think that's pretty much it. Recap, I stuck this sucker of this tree so I can truly say that's part of the tree, not like a different tree. And it grew, and I shape it, and I shape it, and I'm capitalizing on the old wood. And so that's half of a tree became a really nice bonsai by itself. That's how you can multiply your collection. So let me move on to the second one. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video so far. We got a lot more going on. This is about halfway. Please click like if you like my content, and subscribe to our channel, tell a friend, and more importantly, go to our website and sign up to become a VIP for goodies. So let me work on the second one to demonstrate how do I salvage a tree. And come to think of it, I want to remind you there was a juniper that it was a nice old juniper, prostrata juniper that was upright, and one side of it died off, and I didn't want to throw it away, and I played with it, and I turned around different ways until I saw one that it was hovering over one side. And in fact, I broke one branch doing it, and I talk about salvaging the branch. So I encourage to, so let me show you that juniper I talk about is again to salvage a tree that's a declining tree and make it into really, really nice cascade bonsai. And in this case, my initial thought about doing this Phoenix Graft modified, I was going to use this tree to tape the sucker onto the old trunk to capitalize on the old trunk because I loved the bonsai, and it was very sad to me that it died off. And in fact, just to be self-critical, I suspect I loved the tree so much, it was growing so vigorously, I over-fertilized it. I figure, well, if it likes fertilizer, it likes more fertilizer. Well, that is not quite true. And so it caused the demise of this tree. And I didn't want to throw it away. And then these sucker came out. So the question becomes, how do I capitalize on the sucker and the tree to make it into a new bonsai? So let me take it out of the pot to study it and then decide what to do. My feeling is definitely not attached to the trunk, because according to the AI on Google, that wisteria would tend to be not lasting. They're soft, although some parts can be hard depending on the growing habit. That means if the year that's vigorous growing is very soft because the wood is, the spacing is hard, but long, far away, far apart, whereas in slow growing years, dry years, it tends to grow harder wood. So with that in mind then, without further ado, let me take it out of the pot. So I actually, the tree probably died more than a year ago. I only repotted it. I can procrastinate like everybody else. I only repotted it maybe 3 months ago, so not much roots. But let's take a look and see what's in it. Okay. This in fact fell off from the original trunk. You can see the original tree is still trying to grow with a little bit of roots coming out. Not much. So it's really sad for me. You see, the tree is still alive, trying to struggle to survive. And then some of the sucker came out. So, we experience setback, and we just have to deal with it. But in fact, that is still part of the tree. It sucker from the bottom and did not break off, whereas the other one broke off. I can try to use both. Why not? It's the same tree. I didn't fake it. It just broke off, and I can make it grow back together again. And in fact, you can see there's another growth coming out of this. So maybe I don't need any more because there's going to be one on each side. You can see this is coming on from the root, and so is this one coming from the root. So what I advocate is to now begin to tape this onto this trunk. And I have to be a little careful not to break this, but wisteria is fairly resilient. It's really already starting to break off. So this can come on this side. Where this can come on this side. And hopefully this will thicken to make it look like part of the tree. What I should definitely do is to try to tighten this a little bit, move it a little bit closer without breaking it, and then tape this on here. So let me do that. All of these roots will sucker out into the forming new growth. So this becomes an interesting base, and I don't know what's going to happen to the top. So what I'm going to do is leave all of this, because as the AI says, the wisteria wood can be soft and hard. So this could be falling off in an interesting way to show how the nature kind of survive or remain. So let me take care of this one first. There's a fall off here, so I need to tape it to make sure it doesn't break further. And then I try to tie this one over closer to the tree. Not long enough, I gotta go some more wire. So now what I'll do is I put this tree back in the pot. Look, what happened is that this tree was growing out this way. So I actually tie it to get it closer to the main branch. And so eventually you can see this is connected. So this would thicken, eventually kind of almost touching. And all of this, I think, is still not quite alive. So A lot of this will rot off. Some of it will stay put. So it could be very interesting. If nothing else, it's going to have two branches coming up, three trunks coming up. One here, one there, two anyway. I think that's another one, yeah, on the other side. You will have a base. This part is alive to feed this. So some parts of this will be alive, will be a kind of a flat ground and a trunk coming up a little bit. You can see it was dead, and then stuff coming out on the side like a triple trunk or double trunk. It could be very interesting. I have no idea what's going to happen to this, but I'm going to leave it and show you over the times, over several years, to see how that rot, to understand what Google says. Some parts are hard, sometimes some parts are soft, so some parts will remain to make it a very interesting natural bonsai. So with that in mind then, what I will do now is that you can see a lot of the original roots is still alive. Let me put it in this pot, a smaller pot. I don't need such a big pot. And I put it kind of deep so that it would grow because some of the roots are here and are starting to go down. Here, come here. So like these roots are coming down from here. It's a little bit like air roots. Sometime later, just like the big pomegranate bonsai has one like air roots coming from the side, and that could be very interesting. So this could be air roots eventually like situation because these roots would take hold and grow. That's why I put it in a slightly deeper pot. You can see these roots would touch the soil and they would take hold to feed the upper part of the growth, and then they would thicken to become really quite picturesque air roots. Like I had on the older pomegranate, the other side of the pomegranate that I cut off, there was a root that came down and grew, and it became really, really interesting. So you want to save all of these and make it touch the bottom. That's why I put it in a slightly deeper pot. And this tree is part of the original, but it fell off, you see, from broken off. So I'll put it back just in case I need a little extra branch to stick on. It's not attached to the same original tree, but at least I can say it's from the same tree, rather than Phoenix is totally foreign tree. So with that in mind, then I'll just put the soil back in the pot, and then show you what it looks like 6 months from now, a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now. You know, bonsais are long-term projects. Well, you see, even pomegranate, wisteria, you can see it really rots. It's a very soft wood, so you really can't use this, likely to be able to use much of that. So it's going to be a base with 2 or 3 coming up, and that you trim it to be a kind of like a clump, and then when the flower hanging, it will be quite interesting. But right now it'll be nothing for probably 5 years even. But you know, bonsai is a long-term project. Teach us how to be patient. Well, in conclusion, today I have to show you 2 modification of the so-called Phoenix graft, because I don't particularly like putting one tree totally foreign to the other one, but rather in this case, they are relatives at least. This one, I took a sucker from the original tree and stuck it in, and it started to take over, and that's what it looks like. And then the other one, I actually think that the whole top will rot off because wisteria is very soft wood, has very soft wood, so that you will eventually have a base that naturally survive because they have growth coming out of it. And then you have a clump, 2 or 3, eventually maybe 3 or 5 wisteria coming up, and I can train it to relatively skinny but tall, and then you have beautiful blue wisterias hanging. So don't throw away your dead bonsai or nearly dead bonsai. Work on it. You may rejuvenate it. And I can genuinely feel good about that. It's a good bonsai because its own root. And it took many years to come back. Took many years to go from here to all of this. So I thank you very much for watching. I hope you like it. Please click like to give me some encouragement. I'm a human, I need encouragement. And subscribe to our channel and tell a friend and become our VIP and to get our news announcements. I hope to see you again next week. Thank you. Well, thank you very much for watching today's video. Subscribe to our channel and tell a friend. And most importantly, go to our website and sign up to become our VIP so that we can send you announcements of special considerations. Thank you very much. See you next week.